Throughout WWE history, alongside spectacular matches and glorious moments, there have been incidents that made fans hold their breath. Serious injuries not only impact wrestlers' careers but also create heartbreaking, dramatic stories that showcase incredible resilience. From terrifying falls to collisions that nearly paralyze the body, WWE has witnessed countless moments that sent shivers through audiences and fellow performers alike. Let's take a look back at the most frightening injuries in WWE history. Let's get started. Wrestling Sphere, go! 1. Stone Cold Steve Austin. On August 3, 1997, SummerSlam delivered a moment so shocking that the entire arena fell silent. During the Intercontinental Championship match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Owen Hart, a rare and dangerous mishap unfolded, one that shook WWE to its core. It all started with a move that seemed routine at first. Owen set up for a sit-down piledriver, a far riskier variation of the traditional version where the opponent's head is positioned dangerously low. The instant Owen dropped to a seated position, everything went wrong. Instead of landing on his upper shoulders as expected, Austin was driven straight down on the top of his head. The impact was so severe that his entire body went numb. Austin later revealed he couldn't move from the neck down, feeling as if his whole body had locked up, similar to what he had heard about Christopher Reeve's paralysis. In that split second, he feared his career, and possibly his life, might be over right there in the ring. What followed became an image fans would never forget. Austin lay motionless, fighting to regain even the slightest sensation. When feeling slowly returned, he realized he couldn't finish the match the way it was planned. Refusing to be carried out, he forced himself back to his feet and improvised a weak, almost helpless roll-up to win the title. The pin looked so loose that many thought it was symbolic, but it was enough for him to leave the match as champion, even though his body was barely holding on. The aftermath was immediate and brutal: dizziness, shortness of breath, and a near inability to stand. Doctors later confirmed a broken neck and severe nerve damage. 1 month after the incident, he was forced to vacate the title and step away from the ring for 3 months. Still, Austin's star power didn't fade. He returned at the end of 1997, exploded at the 1998 Royal Rumble, and ignited the legendary Stone Cold era. But that injury permanently altered his trajectory. Austin abandoned his technical style in favor of a more physical, brawling approach to protect his neck. Ironically, that shift helped turn him into the defining icon of the Attitude Era. Yet the lingering damage eventually caught up to him, leading to his early retirement in 2003. Austin never blamed Owen Hart, though he admitted he was disappointed Owen only checked on him once. The accident was a tragedy, but it also became the turning point that cemented Stone Cold Steve Austin's legacy in WWE history in a way no one could have predicted. 2. Sid Vicious. During WWE's golden era, Sid Vicious was seen as the definition of a towering powerhouse, someone born to dominate the ring. With his massive frame, intimidating height, and cold, unshakable presence, Sid had every quality of a superstar destined to sit at the top. He appeared in major headline matches, even sharing the main event of WrestleMania with the legendary Hulk Hogan, an honor only a select few ever experience. Everything pointed toward a brilliant future, until one catastrophic moment in 2001 changed everything. The incident happened at WCW's Sin pay-per-view. Even though the golden era had passed, Sid Vicious was still one of the most respected names in wrestling. But that night, a single risky decision altered the course of his life. In the main event, Sid attempted a high kick from the second rope, a move completely unsuited for someone of his size. The moment his foot hit the mat, the full weight of his body came crashing down on his supporting leg. In an instant, his lower leg snapped and bent at an unnatural angle, creating a horrifying scene that left fans stunned. The entire arena fell silent. Sid collapsed, clutching his leg in unbearable pain as medical personnel rushed in to stabilize the grotesquely twisted bone. He was taken to the hospital immediately, where tests confirmed that both his tibia and fibula had suffered severe fractures. Doctors had no choice but to perform emergency surgery, inserting a long metal rod to reconstruct and secure the damaged leg. Although Sid spent nearly 2 years fighting to recover, he was never able to return to his former level. That devastating injury didn't just end the prime years of Sid Vicious, it became one of the most frightening moments in wrestling history, a chilling reminder that a single misstep can erase a legacy built through an entire career. 3. Big E. On March 11, 2022, SmackDown witnessed one of the most frightening moments the wrestling world had seen in years: Big E's devastating neck injury. The always energetic member of the New Day was competing in a tag match alongside Kofi Kingston against Ridge Holland and Sheamus. Everything was moving at a steady pace, until disaster struck without warning. The dangerous moment happened at ringside when Ridge Holland attempted an overhead belly-to-belly suplex on Big E. It's a move wrestlers perform routinely, but one slight misalignment can lead to catastrophic consequences. Holland didn't rotate far enough, causing Big E to crash down directly on the top of his head, arguably the worst impact point any wrestler can experience. The force of the landing fractured his C1 and C6 vertebrae. The second Big E lay motionless. Medical staff rushed over and immediately secured him on a stretcher. The entire arena fell dead silent. Everyone knew how severe neck injuries can be, often carrying the risk of paralysis or even death. Remarkably, despite the agony, Big E remained calm and continued reassuring fans with frequent updates from the hospital. Doctors confirmed that his spinal cord was unharmed, a rare stroke of luck for an accident this severe. Big E later admitted he was inches away from losing his life or facing permanent paralysis had his landing angle been off by just a few degrees. Although he didn't require surgery, the road to recovery was still incredibly challenging. In the months that followed, Big E kept fans informed. Overall, he felt healthy, but his C1 vertebra failed to fuse properly. Instead of healing with bone, it filled with fibrous tissue, an outcome that made an in-ring return nearly impossible. He continued appearing for WWE in backstage roles and talent recruitment, but his days as an active competitor were effectively over. By late 2025, Big E officially confirmed the end of his wrestling career. Even so, his resilience and positivity throughout the ordeal inspired countless people. Big E moves forward with gratitude, appreciating every day he's still able to walk, a victory more meaningful than any championship he ever held. 4. Joey Mercury. WWE has seen its share of unforgettable moments, but Joey Mercury's injury at Armageddon 2006 remains one of the most disturbing visuals fans still shudder at today. The four-team ladder match, MNM, the Hardys, London and Kendrick, and the duo of Regal and Taylor, was expected to be chaotic, but no one imagined it would lead to something this horrific. The turning point came when Jeff Hardy climbed a ladder set up in the center of the ring and leaped off, using his weight to launch another ladder upward like a catapult. Mercury was supposed to raise his arms to absorb the impact, but the spot happened too fast for him to react. In a split second, the steel ladder snapped upward and smashed directly into his face with enough force to shatter his nose and the bones around his eye. The arena fell silent. Mercury was knocked backward, blood pouring so heavily that his face was almost completely drenched. One glance was enough to know he couldn't continue. Medical staff rushed in, examined him on the spot, and quickly escorted him backstage. Despite the gruesome injury, Mercury remained conscious, which stunned many who witnessed the moment. At the hospital, he received around 30 stitches to close deep lacerations and repair the damaged bone structure. Doctors monitored him closely for potential complications around the eye, given how violent the impact had been. Mercury later explained that the hit felt like being struck by a speeding block of steel, or slamming face first into a car windshield with no protection. Even through the intense pain, he stayed fully aware of everything that happened and never lost consciousness. Physically, he recovered faster than expected and returned to the ring within weeks. But the emotional fallout was far harsher. Mercury had already been battling substance dependency, and the lingering pain from the injury pushed him deeper into using painkillers. His struggle spiraled out of control, eventually leading WWE to release him in March 2007. The setback created a painful detour in his career, but Mercury refused to stay down. He reinvented himself as a trainer and producer, gaining significant respect for his work in Ring of Honor. His journey, from surviving a devastating injury to rebuilding himself in a new role, showcased his resilience and unwavering passion for professional wrestling. 5. Draws. On October 5, 1999, the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island became the scene of one of the most heartbreaking tragedies in WWE history. Darren Drozdov, once celebrated as a symbol of strength and uniqueness, stepped into the ring with D'Lo Brown, unaware that just moments later, his life would change irreversibly. The accident occurred as Brown prepared to execute his signature powerbomb, a move he had performed thousands of times before. But that night, everything went wrong. Draws's oversized shirt prevented him from properly assisting with the lift, and Brown lost his footing entirely. In an instant, Draws was lifted and fell along a misaligned trajectory, landing on his head in the worst possible way. The impact shattered 2 of his cervical vertebrae, instantly paralyzing him from the neck down. The match was never officially aired due to the severity of the incident. Surgeons worked tirelessly for hours to relieve pressure on his spinal cord, but the damage was so severe that Draws could never regain full mobility. Still, through relentless effort and determination, he gradually recovered some movement in his upper body and arms, a recovery doctors once deemed impossible. What earned Draws immense respect in the wrestling community wasn't just his determination to overcome his injury, but his remarkable humanity. He never blamed D'Lo Brown, always emphasizing that it was a tragic accident, a risk inherent to the profession. After being forced to retire from in-ring competition, Draws continued contributing to WWE as an editor, writer, and a familiar face on the online show Bite This, always carrying a rare spirit of positivity. Draws passed away in June 2023, yet his perseverance, optimism, and resilient outlook continue to inspire fans and wrestlers alike. He stands as a testament to the indomitable power of the human spirit, proving that courage and determination can endure even when the body can no longer perform. 6. Becky Lynch. The injury on November 12, 2018, was more than just an accident on Raw. It was a career-defining moment for Becky Lynch. In the lead-up to Survivor Series, Becky led the SmackDown women in a surprise raid on Raw. Chaos erupted, the crowd roared, and in the midst of the brawl, Nia Jax accidentally landed a heavy punch, breaking Becky's nose and causing a serious concussion. The image of Becky standing amidst the crowd, her face bloodied yet eyes blazing, raising her hand defiantly, instantly became one of the most unforgettable visuals in modern WWE history. In a matter of seconds, she transformed from a rising star into the Man, a symbol of relentless determination and fearlessness. Many fans even likened the moment to classic scenes in WWE history, as it captured a raw intensity rarely seen in the ring. Initially, WWE described the injury as a facial fracture, but further evaluation confirmed it was a broken nose, while the concussion forced her to withdraw from her highly anticipated match against Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. That match was expected to cement her as a top star in WWE. Ironically, missing the bout only amplified her momentum. Her bloodied image propelled her further than any scripted storyline could. Becky personally chose Charlotte Flair as a replacement, continuing to fuel their rivalry, and from that moment on, Becky Lynch secured her place among WWE's immortal icons. 7. Tyson Kidd. Not every injury leads to a breakthrough, and Tyson Kidd's case stands as one of the most heartbreaking examples. On June 1, 2015, during a dark match before Raw, Kidd faced Samoa Joe, who had recently been promoted to the main roster after an impressive run in NXT. At the time, Kidd was riding a strong wave of momentum alongside Cesaro, their tag team considered one of WWE's brightest new stars. Yet, in a matter of seconds, it all came to an abrupt halt. During the match, Samoa Joe executed a muscle buster, a move he had performed countless times without issue. But that night, when Kidd hit the mat, disaster struck. He described a flash of light, followed by his entire body going numb and losing all control. From his neck down, he was completely immobile, unable to move even a finger. As Joe held him on the mat to finish the match, sensation slowly returned to his arms and legs, but the pain was excruciating. Kidd was rushed to the hospital, where scans revealed a fractured C2 vertebra, a rare spinal injury with a very high mortality rate. Doctors bluntly told him that only a very small number of people survive such trauma, and Kidd was among the fortunate few. He underwent complex surgery, involving 16 pins, 4 screws, and a metal rod to stabilize his neck. The medical team made it clear that returning to in-ring competition was strictly forbidden due to the extreme risk. Although his wrestling career ended abruptly, Tyson Kidd remained with WWE as a backstage producer, grateful to be alive and able to continue contributing to the company in a different capacity. 8. Triple H. Triple H is often remembered as one of WWE's toughest legends, but behind his dazzling career were 2 brutal injuries that nearly ended him. Both involved the quadriceps, the muscle group critical for virtually every movement of the legs. The first incident occurred on May 21, 2001, during a Raw Tag Team match where Triple H teamed with Stone Cold Steve Austin against Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. As he charged to break Jericho's walls of Jericho hold on Austin, Triple H misaligned his weight on his left leg. The moment his foot hit the mat, his entire quadriceps tore away from the bone. For most athletes, such an injury would have meant immediate collapse, but Triple H pushed on. He continued fighting, even allowing Jericho to lock him into the walls of Jericho, despite his leg being almost useless. After the match, Triple H underwent emergency surgery performed by Dr. James Andrews. Experts predicted he would be out of action for at least 9 months, followed by grueling physical therapy demanding incredible mental toughness. Yet he returned on January 7, 2002, at Madison Square Garden, greeted by one of the loudest ovations in the arena's storied history, a true Warriors comeback. Fate tested him again 5 years later. On January 7, 2007, at New Year's Revolution, while teaming with Shawn Michaels against Rated RKO, Triple H heard a familiar pop in his right leg. A routine movement was enough to tear the quadriceps once more. He collapsed, unable to stand, and referee Marty Elias immediately signaled the X, confirming a serious injury. This second rupture required another surgery with Dr. Andrews and a 4 to 6 month recovery. Despite enduring both physical and mental pain, Triple H returned by the end of 2007, reaffirming his status as a true icon of the ring. 9. Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has always been regarded as one of WWE's most explosive in-ring performers, but that very high-speed style led to one of the darkest moments of his career. In November 2015, during a WWE live event in Dublin, Ireland, Rollins suffered a serious injury while competing against Kane. As he executed a familiar sunset flip powerbomb, the landing went wrong, forcing his knee to bend unnaturally. The consequences were severe: torn ACL, torn MCL, and meniscus damage. Such an injury often sidelines athletes for extended periods, with some never fully recovering. To make matters worse, Rollins was the reigning WWE World Heavyweight Champion at the time, forcing him to relinquish the title immediately and undergo surgery in Birmingham, Alabama. Doctors estimated a recovery period of 6 to 9 months, a timeline that left both fans and Rollins himself anxious. This also meant missing WrestleMania 32, an event where he was expected to play a major role. The following rehab was grueling: painful physical therapy sessions, long stretches away from the ring, and constant uncertainty about whether his knee could handle the intensity of competition again. Yet Rollins' determination never wavered. In May 2016, at Extreme Rules, he made a shocking return, attacking Roman Reigns and igniting the crowd. This powerful comeback immediately restored his status at the top of WWE. While he had to adjust his in-ring style to protect his knee, Rollins proved that sheer willpower can overcome limits, keeping him at the pinnacle of the sport to this day. 10. Finn Balor. Ironically, Finn Balor became the second superstar forced to relinquish a championship due to injury, and this time, the accident occurred in a match against Seth Rollins. SummerSlam 2016 was supposed to be the crowning moment of Balor's career, but it turned into a bitter turning point that changed his WWE journey. On August 21, 2016, during the match to crown the first Universal Champion, Balor suffered a severe shoulder injury after colliding with a barricade following Rollins' powerbomb. Despite intense pain, he completed the match and even won, demonstrating the spirit of a fighter who never gives up, but the cost was immense. Post-match examinations revealed a serious torn labrum, along with damage to surrounding soft tissue including the biceps tendon, cartilage, and upper chest. This was a high-energy injury, powerful enough to damage multiple structures within the shoulder joint, far beyond a typical dislocation. Surgery was performed the following week, and doctors determined he would be out of action for at least 6 months. The night after SummerSlam, Balor appeared with his arm in a sling, forced to surrender the Universal Championship he had just won less than 24 hours earlier. For someone newly thrust into the spotlight, it was a major shock. Not only did he lose the title, but his momentum on the main roster came to an abrupt halt. During recovery, he also underwent stem cell therapy to accelerate healing. Despite the setback, Balor maintained a positive mindset, treating the injury as a career test, a challenge demanding growth both technically and mentally. By 2017, Balor returned to WWE to a roaring ovation, marking the end of a difficult chapter and the start of a new one. While no title lasts forever, his resilience and attitude during this period became a defining part of Finn Balor's legacy. 11. Shawn Michaels. Throughout WWE history, many careers seemed destined to end prematurely, yet some stars found a way back, and Shawn Michaels is perhaps the clearest example. His near-career-ending accident occurred at the 1998 Royal Rumble during a tense confrontation with The Undertaker. In what appeared to be a routine collision, Michaels was thrown off the ropes and slammed onto the coffin lid positioned beside the ring. The brutal impact caused severe damage to his lower back. 2 discs herniated and 1 was completely crushed. The injury instantly limited the showstopper's mobility, making every step painfully difficult. True to his legendary resilience, Michaels continued to compete for several more months, ultimately entering WrestleMania 14, the fateful match where he had to relinquish the WWE Championship to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Fans watching that night could see the immense pain he endured, with many believing it might be the last time they would ever see him in the ring. Indeed, shortly afterward, he retired, accepting that his body could no longer handle the sport's demands. Adding to the gravity of his situation, doctors could not guarantee a return. His recovery required not only a long rehabilitation period, but also extraordinary perseverance following back surgery. During 4 years away from WWE, Michaels not only focused on healing but also confronted personal challenges, overcoming substance abuse and completely changing his lifestyle. Then, at SummerSlam 2002, the seemingly impossible happened. Shawn Michaels returned in a street fight against Triple H, performing at a level that left the audience in awe. That comeback marked the beginning of a glorious new chapter, allowing him to remain at the top for nearly another decade before retiring again in 2010. What was once viewed as the end of his career instead became the foundation for one of the greatest comebacks in WWE history. Shawn Michaels' determination and spirit not only cemented his legacy but also inspired countless future generations of wrestlers. 12. Randy Orton. Randy Orton endured one of the most brutal injuries of his career at One Night Stand on June 1, 2008. During a last-man standing match for the WWE Championship against Triple H, Orton attempted his signature RKO but was countered. Losing his footing mid-spin, he was hurled violently over the ropes, landing dangerously outside the ring. The impact immediately fractured his left clavicle, causing excruciating pain and forcing him to stop the match. Medical personnel quickly intervened and transported him to a nearby San Diego hospital for scans. Results confirmed a complete clavicle fracture, accompanied by severe swelling and extensive bruising. WWE initially projected a 2 to 3 month recovery, a significant period, yet still enough to keep him in major storylines. However, the situation worsened just 2 months later when Orton suffered a motorcycle accident, refracturing the same bone. This second blow extended his recovery time significantly, keeping him away from the ring and causing him to miss several key events, including SummerSlam 2008. The absence of a top heel like Orton disrupted many of WWE's major storylines. Despite facing back-to-back setbacks, Orton returned by the end of the year in sharp form, continuing to prove why he has remained a central figure in WWE for so many years. 13. John Cena. When it comes to iron will and extraordinary resilience, John Cena's pectoral muscle tear in October 2007 stands out as a defining moment, not just for his career, but for WWE as a whole. The injury occurred during a Monday Night Raw match against Mr. Kennedy. In what seemed like a routine hip toss, Cena's right pectoral muscle tore completely. Despite feeling immediate, excruciating pain, Cena finished the match and even participated in the post-match scripted attack alongside Randy Orton. After the broadcast, doctors confirmed the worst. His pectoral muscle had fully detached from its attachment point, requiring emergency surgery. The procedure, performed by Dr. James Andrews, was complex due to the muscle being pulled away from the chest bone. Recovery was projected to take 6 months to a year, meaning Cena could not retain the WWE Championship he had held for over 365 days. WWE quickly adjusted its plans, crowning Randy Orton at No Mercy just days later. True to his never-give-up spirit, Cena approached rehab with remarkable speed and determination, surpassing all initial expectations. Just over 3 months after surgery, he made a shocking return at the 2008 Royal Rumble, entering at number 30 and winning to the astonishment of the entire audience. This astonishingly fast comeback not only reinforced Cena's status as an iconic figure, but also became a clear testament to his unbreakable will and limitless fighting spirit. 14. Tegan Nox. Among female wrestlers facing relentless challenges, Tegan Nox stands out as a prime example. Her career has been repeatedly derailed by severe knee injuries, even before she stepped onto WWE's main shows. In 2017, As she prepared for the inaugural Mae Young Classic, she suffered a major setback, a complete ACL tear in her right knee. The injury forced her withdrawal, surgery, and nearly a year of grueling rehabilitation. When she returned in April 2018, Tegan came back stronger than ever. But disaster struck again just months later. During the 2018 Mae Young Classic quarterfinals against Rhea Ripley, Tegan executed a high-speed dive over the ropes. As she landed, her left knee collapsed unnaturally. She tried to continue, but the pain was unbearable, forcing the referee to stop the match. The damage was worse than before: a torn ACL, MCL, LCL, a fractured tibia, a dislocated kneecap, and injuries to both menisci. Tegan described the moment as feeling like her knee exploded. The injury required another long and demanding rehabilitation, far more intense than the first. In 2020, while preparing for another return, Tegan suffered yet another ACL tear, her third in 4 years. Despite these repeated setbacks, she never gave up. Each comeback is a testament to her determination, passion, and relentless perseverance in wrestling. Tegan Nox's journey is an inspiring story of mental strength, a female wrestler continuously facing adversity but steadfastly moving forward. 15. Beth Phoenix. In 2006, Beth Phoenix's jaw fracture became one of the biggest setbacks in the early stages of her WWE career. Having just been called up to the main roster, she competed in her first singles match on Raw on June 5, 2006, against Victoria. What should have been a debut showcasing her potential quickly turned disastrous. During a routine exchange, Victoria delivered what seemed like a simple slap. No one expected it to cause such severe damage. Beth's slightly open mouth caused the force to hit her jaw directly, shattering the bone. At first, she thought she had merely lost a tooth, but the panicked reactions of her colleagues at ringside quickly revealed the gravity of the situation. Pain spread across her face, and she was immediately taken out of the arena. At the hospital, X-rays revealed the injury was even worse than anticipated. Her jaw was not only cracked but also misaligned, requiring reconstructive surgery. Doctors placed steel plates and screws to stabilize the entire structure. Beyond the physical pain, the psychological shock weighed heavily on Beth. Her budding career was at risk of ending before it had truly begun, threatening years of hard work. Yet Beth Phoenix refused to give up. She endured a challenging recovery process, gradually regaining normal jaw function. When she returned to training, she was sent back to OVW to rebuild her form and prepare for a full comeback. In 2007, Beth officially returned to WWE and went on to become one of the most respected female wrestlers, 3-time Women's Champion, 1-time Divas Champion, and ultimately a WWE Hall of Fame inductee. What seemed like a career-ending jaw fracture became the foundation for Beth Phoenix to demonstrate the strength, determination, and resilience of the Glamazon. 16. Paige. Paige was once the symbol of rebellion and individuality in the Divas division, bringing an energy WWE desperately needed at the time. From her debut in 2014, with her dark style, fierce attitude, and relentless in-ring offense, she quickly became a leading figure in the new wave of female wrestlers. Yet at the peak of her career, a cruel accident abruptly ended her in-ring journey. A severe neck injury forced her rising career to a halt. At the end of 2017, during an untelevised match against Sasha Banks, disaster struck unexpectedly. Sasha delivered a seemingly simple kick to Paige's back, but the force reverberated directly into her previously injured neck. Paige collapsed immediately, barely able to move her arms or legs. The referee stopped the match instantly, and medical personnel rushed to check on her. The arena fell silent as Paige was carried out on a stretcher. At the hospital, the diagnosis was devastating. Paige's cervical spine was damaged at the exact site of her prior surgery, and doctors warned that even a single additional impact could result in permanent paralysis. After extensive treatment and multiple medical evaluations, WWE had to make a heartbreaking decision. Paige could no longer compete in the ring. In April 2018, Paige walked onto Raw to officially announce her retirement, a moment that left fans around the world in tears. While she later remained involved with WWE in a managerial role and eventually found a new path in AEW, the image of Paige collapsing in that fateful match remains one of the saddest moments in WWE history. These injuries serve as a reminder that WWE isn't just a colorful performance, it's a true test of physical strength and mental toughness. If you enjoyed this video, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for Wrestling Sphere. V.